Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys I wanted to talk about a topic that has been really discussed a lot over the last week, and this has been an ongoing evolution of a problem, issue, thing that's been going on for months now, and it's been talked about off and on, but it's really come to a climax and has become a hot button issue, especially this past week, with Walmart and Target announcing that they're no longer going to be selling Yu-Gi-Oh! Product or card products for the most part, including Pokemon, sports cards, for the time being. Now, how did this all come about? It's been an evolution of things going on with, Crush Card been going on for months now, over a year and a half almost. It kind of started with, I think, a Logan Paul opening that Pokemon product. Because I will not forget this last year even. I remember after that this video blew up. I didn't even watch it actually. I've never watched it, but I remember a few months later I just started seeing Yu-Gi-Oh product disappearing. I saw the Pokemon product disappearing, then I saw the Yu-Gi-Oh product. And I thought, okay, shortages, Toon Chaos had come out. Okay, there's shortages of this, shortages of that. That's probably why, right? I would still be able to pick up my structure deck. Still pick up my Megatins if I need it, when I wanted to. I was all good, right? But then I saw these signs going up about a month or so ago of please see front desk for product. Please see this and that. And I have a Walmart and Target right down the street from where I live. And I have another Target that's nearby with another Walmart. So I'm surrounded pretty much with a lot of stores. And every one I went to, same thing. Same thing. The Barnes and Nobles that I visit, same thing. Every store almost, same thing. Except the Magic product. Go figure, Magic. The one time I'd rather you be brought out, it's not. I'm just ugh. Beside the point. I don't hate Magic players. I play Magic a little bit for fun. And know the game actually, but not super big into it though. But this is how it started, these signs going up. And then, about the time we heard these signs coming out, I started hearing these rumors. And I heard them from buddies of mine. Hey dude, this is going on. Hey dude, that's going on. And I have people that work in retail that I know that personally. I couldn't believe some of the things I was hearing. I said, no. Nah, man, nah, that can't. No, why? Who? What? Why? And this is coming from a guy that's played Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Have lived through the recession that we had back in 2009, 2010, and I remember people doing weird things for Dark Armed Dragon, if you know what I mean. If you don't know those stories, they're very XXX rated, so to speak. I've heard stories. But, I remember in those hard times and hearing the crazy things going on back then, I was like, oh, will that happen? No, it can't be. Maybe it was an exaggeration, but some of them did happen. It was one or two instances that got blown up. So I thought, okay, that's probably what's going on, right? Apparently not. That video that Logan Paul did is just, it's domino affected. It's exploded. I had a feeling something like this was eventually going to happen, over the last couple of years. If you've studied trends, probably 10 years ago, right? We started seeing products from the 80s go up in price. Why was that? These people that grew up in the 80s, they had gotten money, they invested back in their childhood. And I had often wondered, when was that going to eventually happen for 90s kids, right? I had kind of 90s, early 2000s kids. I said, when is that going to happen? Well, apparently the time is now, apparently. I guess so. Now's the time. But the stories are just ridiculous. People going in line at a Target or a Walmart at 5 a.m. and camping out to get product. What? People doing violent actions to employees to get product. People harassing for product. And it's not just one or two instances. It's multiple. And it's not just in one area or this area. It's across the board. And when I literally go to my store now, and I'm, like I said, even back in January, it was hard. It was getting hard to find product. I was just like, oh, I want to pick up a structure deck I needed to. I needed to get the ice barrier structure deck, right? Guess what? It was sold out. They never got it. All the stores in my area, the Barnes and Noble, nothing. Nobody got it. The ice barrier structure deck. I couldn't believe it. And it just flabbergasted me that people have gotten to this extreme. And I don't mean to hype it up because I don't know how big this is, but when you hear it, the rumor mill is an interesting beast. Hearsay, is an interesting thing. You got to take it sometimes with a grain of salt. But when you see it happening across the board, not just at Target, not just at Walmart, not just at Barnes and Nobles, across the board, it kind of makes you go, what's going on here? Magic the Gathering seems to have gotten away scot-free, but that's beside the point here. And I've heard scalpers, I've heard people juicing, for money. I mean, guys, I know we're in hard times, but why would you do that? I mean, I got people saying, telling John Moore apparently that, oh, I'm trying to expand my portfolio of inventory. Really? By waiting at 5 o'clock in the morning to get stuff from Target or Walmart. I think you got your priorities mixed up, Sonny. And I say that really harshly. I mean that. The stories I heard 10 years ago with Dark Arm Dragons going for $300 a pop and people doing suckies and handy dandies and, hey, girlfriend, go do that to buy me that card. There were stories I heard back then of that. While that is not to this extreme, it's ridiculous. It's that extreme of just ridiculousness where you're like, it's a card game, dude. And, I know 90s and kids and 20 kids and nostalgia has been super rampant for my age group, the mid-20s, early 30s that grew up in the 90s and grew up in this time frame, now coming into their own, getting money, wanting to invest in nostalgia. Depression. I think Cyber Knight mentioned in one of his videos. I watched a lot about this because I just wanted to hear everybody's opinion before I made this video. Is Cyber Knight's like, yeah, depression's kind of rampant right now with COVID. I think that's true. Me, I've been fine actually for the most part, except for being sick with crush card at one point and this happening with me, some health issues. I've been good overall in that department, thanks to working on my mind up here. But I get it. But that's no excuse for doing those things. That's no excuse for harassing Target employees, pulling weapons on people for stuff, for product, bringing entire families, asking people to buy product for them and waiting in line to give them cash. The ridiculous, and it's not just one thing, this thing, that thing, it's multiple things with multiple different people trying to find a loophole to the point that they're like, we're not doing it anymore. That says something, that it's not just one person, two people, it's multiple instances. That makes me nervous because we're also seeing this in the Yu-Gi-Oh market too, of just prices going bonkers. Everybody is trying to juice everybody. That's nothing new in Yu-Gi-Oh! You're probably saying. I agree. But it's to the extreme where it's not just, $10, $20 like it used to be. It's hundreds of dollars. And I'm just like, so it feels like sometimes, and I get it because of, shortages and Konami's trying their best, to print as much as they can with everything going on. But, it feels like now that if I don't order a product 4 or 5 months in advance, I'm not going to get that because I can't go to my local store. I can't go here. I can't do that. And now I've talked about, up to this point for probably the last 5-6 minutes, talking about why it's happened and my thoughts on that happening and, looking to the past for, how things turned out. let's talk about how this is going to have long-ranging implications. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months. Things could go extremely well, or they could stay the same, or they could go backwards with Crush Card. We don't know. I want to be a positive person and say things are going to get better. I believe that, honestly, in my heart of hearts. But, things happen. And, as a man who has studied history throughout his life, things, are getting on the upswing, but we're not out of the woods yet. As Uncle Iroh said, if you keep moving forward, you will eventually find yourself in a better place, and you'll see that light at the tunnel. But if this continues, if Walmart, if Barnes and Nobles, if these different places that people, provide cards for, do not get these type of cards going, if they don't sell this product in the future, it's going to have a long-ranging implication on the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I know for a fact for myself, I didn't get back into this game. I got back into this game because I saw a Gravekeeper structure deck at my local Walmart. I know multiple people had that same thing happen. Look at the product. Look how it's put out there. It's for the Gen 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. Kaiba. Egyptian God structure deck. Why are we having more Blue Eyes and Dark Magician? Because it was big. Because it brings players back into the game. That's why. That's why you've seen Konami do this. They did the Yusei. They did the Jaden 10. Why? Bring those guys back too. You see this. Konami's not as dumb as we think, guys. They know what they're doing. That's how a lot of players get back into this game. And I'm one of those. That's going to have long-reaching implications for new players that are trying to get to the game and returning players, for piquing interest, etc. if they don't bring it back. But that's an if. We don't know. And the reason I say that is things could get better, and the next 6 months we don't know what's going to happen even, because there's going to come eventually a time when things will get back to a new normal. They may not be the same normal that we were used to before Crush Card, but they will be a new standard of normal in the world. And people are going to want to go do other things. They're going to want to travel to events. They want to do this and that. And you're going to see probably a little bit of inflation in the market. But what you're also going to see is people having to sell stuff because they can't afford it anymore, because they're doing things and they want to do things. So when people say, oh, I'm investing in product, I'm investing in cards, I say, I don't know if that's your best investment, good sir. Now, I will say personally, the collection that I've accumulated over the last 2 decades since I was a kid has pretty much quadrupled in price. Now, granted, some of this stuff is because I used to work at a card shop. Some of that stuff I got for the cheap. It's doubled. There were a lot of old cards that nobody wanted. I got them. Now they've tripled. Now they've doubled. And I know there's people out there that have, Turbo Pack and this and that, and it's just like gone up. They're showing me pictures, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's worth a lot of money now. But, it's ridiculous. When I looked at my collection, I'm just like, oh, I want to build this deck, and I'm like, holy guacamole, that card's worth a lot of money. A card that was worth a year ago maybe $1 is worth like $7, $8, $10 now. And you may think that's not much, but when you compound it card after card after card after card after card, it adds up, guys. You've made your return back tenfold, which is interesting. And, it's kind of why I'm happy, I got back into the game early, because I picked up a lot of this older stuff. Like, I have pretty much every old deck that I want to build right now. I'm kind of building. I'm kind of running out of ideas of older decks I want to build, but like the Egyptian God deck. Thank gosh I built an Egyptian God deck 3 years ago, because all the Egyptian God stuff is up in price now. Thank gosh I built this deck, because it feels like as soon as a new support is released for an old archetype, oh my gosh, it's too late to buy the cards already. It's ridiculous. It's been that way for a while, but it feels even more so. Like if you're 5 minutes late to an announcement, everything's been brought out. Doesn't mean you're going to make your money back. It's just people trying to juice each other. So, back on topic, long-range implications. It's going to, if they don't come back, it's going to have that. Short-ranging implications, it could change. That's in a nutshell, because of, things will eventually get better to a new normal. So it's going to be interesting to see how this develops, guys. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to be fine. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is on the upswing. I don't know why people invested in product, man. Are you trying to flip it like that? Like, I mean, I think they're mostly scalpers if they're trying to do this, because I know people that did that for Xboxes and PlayStation 2s. I think my generation, especially nowadays, everybody has a side hustle. And I don't like calling it even a hustle, because it's a hustle. You got to work for it, man. And it sometimes it's not worth it. You want something more stable and long term. And I don't know. I've done a lot of maturing over the last 3 years. So, I mean, I used to do stuff like this too. But, like, I at least knew that I was going to make a profit back. This, you don't know. Because when you see people buying out Blazing Dumpster, I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, you're going to hold on to that product for 5-6 years and hope it goes up. You got the capital for that? Okay. Sure. Blazing Dumpster. You hold on to that case, sir, for a couple of years. Good luck. Because it feels like it's the blind leading the blind. Sometimes, oh yeah. And you see this right now, too, also with people with product. Every product gets hyped up, and then it gets close to the release, and they're like, oh, it's not as good as we hoped. It's kind of a failure. Ghost from the past. Oh, it's not what we wanted. Oh, it may be. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, like, it feels wishy-washy every time I watch somebody talk about product now. It's like, wait, are you trying to... And no offense, I'm not calling anybody out. It feels that way some ways. And also, I think this, and this is something I want to mention in this video, I think this also stems from the fact that we've started to have these Starlight Rares and these chase cards, which I think are great for the game. Ghost Rares were an awesome thing. Ultimate Rares back in the day were an ultimate thing. But when people are pricing these at these ridiculous prices, I kind of question it. Because, I'll be honest with you, I have not once thought about purchasing any of them. Because I play this game to play it, and I've already collected what I've already wanted. So, I don't care about you replaying a Effect Railer and a Starlight Rare and it being whatever price it is. I don't care. That's not me. And I think people are trying to collect and do these PSA stuff. It's a different topic for a different day, I think. But to just make more money. And you got to find a buyer for that stuff if you're going to do it, man. Because it feels like those people are just selling to the other people that are also doing it. And it's, as John Moore said it perfectly, it's like a hot potato. So, I don't know what's going on. Yu-Gi-Oh! I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in a great place in the long run, but right now it's just, I'm scratching my head, guys, because even I'm just watching this unfold, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, who is doing this? Who is doing this crazy stuff? So tell me your comments down below. I know that I rambled a lot. I'm very tired, but I wanted to also just talk to you guys, up front, like I would be talking to you if we were just sitting together, playing a duel together and talking about this. Dude, you hear about that? Yeah, man. So this is more, just informal and just me talking, just like I would if you were right here. So tell me your thoughts down below, guys. And until next time, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Tell me your thoughts down below. Take care, everybody.